This video is a tutorial guide for learning the brace stroke for kayaking. Bracing is a useful skill in all kinds of kayaking, but especially with whitewater kayaking. The brace stroke gives you stability by making your paddle kind of as an outrigger. There are two kinds of brace strokes, the high brace and the low brace. This picture here is showing a low brace. You use the back face of the paddle and your elbows up above the paddle. This tutorial will focus on the high brace as seen here. In this one you use the front face of the paddle and reach out with your elbow below the paddle. A good strong brace will give you a lot more confidence in moving water. If you can rely on that brace stroke, it'll let you enter and exit stronger currents. The guy in this picture is able to lean way over and get up on edge because he's bracing on the other side. Another good reason to practice the brace stroke is because it's an important piece of learning to roll. The brace stroke and the roll are related skills and they can be learned together. One of the best ways to practice is just in a pool or in a lake. You can start learning the basic movements in nice calm water. I want to look at this picture again to point a few things out. The important pieces to note here are the way he's reaching out and the way he's got his kayak up on an angle. If you reach out a little way, it'll give you better leverage, and the kayak should be on edge so that you can feel where that tipping point is. I mentioned the front and back face of the paddle a minute ago. The front face is the power face of the paddle because it has that arced shape. For the high brace, you're going to be using the power face on the stroke. This shows the end of the brace stroke. It's important to keep your head low to the water because it helps keep your center of gravity lower. You don't have to push as hard against the water. His torso is also arced over so that helps to push the kayak back to being flat. And the paddle is moving from front to back along the surface of the water. As you practice the brace stroke, you can add onto it into what's called the sculling brace. This starts out exactly the same as the high brace, but when your paddle reaches the back of the kayak, you rotate your paddle and push it forward. So you can sweep back and forth several times while keeping your kayak on edge. And this is a good exercise because it'll build a lot of dexterity with your paddle. This is a great way to practice the feel of the brace without having to worry about tipping over. You can just put your paddle on a dock, or if you're in shallow water, just push off the bottom. Using some solid ground can help you learn where that tipping point is and how much pressure you have to stabilize. Again, just practicing in a pool with another kayak to hold on to is another good way to learn. Once you've had some practice using shallow water or by holding onto another kayak, you can have a friend hold onto your kayak blade. This way your paddle is actually in the water and you can do a complete brace stroke with your friend holding it up. Eventually you'll be able to brace without any help from another person. So let's look at another example of a good brace stroke. This guy has a good reach with the paddle. The kayak is up on edge and his shoulder is right down on the water. As he finishes the brace stroke, he'll just need to lower his head and the kayak will snap right back upright. And we'll look at some mistakes here too. In this example, the student brought her head up instead of keeping it down low. So you can see her paddle is all the way back, so she doesn't have any power left in the stroke, so she would tip over in this case. So just look at these side by side and you can really see the difference in where their shoulders are compared to the level of the water. And in this example, the student is too rigid. He hasn't arced his back so that his torso can push the kayak back into position. So let's look at these side by side. Notice the difference in how he's reaching out with his paddle and how his torsos are different. The top picture shows how he's bent his hips to roll the kayak back more flat. And just another quick practice tip here. You can actually practice the brace motion on dry land too. Just reach out with your paddle like you would with a normal brace and you can feel how much pressure you need to push yourself back upright. That about covers it for the high brace stroke. Thanks for watching.